SAD is no joke, and if you feel like getting through the winter is impossible for you every year, here are three things that I do that have made a huge difference on my mental health. The biggest shift for me was creating a little menu of activities based on my energy level. If you're trying to do a high energy activity when you have a low energy, it's just never going to work. So I like to separate the list by low, medium, and high, and these can either correlate to the amount of energy that you have or the amount of time that you have. So low energy, low time, medium energy, medium time, and then just start to fill it in with things that you like. For low energy, things like cozy gaming, listening to an audiobook, scrolling through Pinterest, doing a coloring book. For medium energy, things like junk journaling, baking a recipe that you have saved, maybe taking out your crafts while you're watching a show that you like. And then that high bucket can be saved for when you have a lot of energy, things like starting a new project or hosting a craft tonight, reorganizing your space, maybe even starting a side business. But when you have your activities laid out by effort and energy level, it makes it so much easier to actually be consistent with making time for what you love. Also, making it as easy as possible for you to do the things that you want is key here. If you're gonna have to pull out all of your supplies every single time you want to do something, it's literally never going to happen. So I like to have little corners set up in my space or even just a bag filled with things that I love so that when I am in the mood, it's very easy for me to get started. Next is I started romanticizing the absolute hell out of winter. I made a whole Pinterest board of things that you can only do during the winter season, things like wearing your coziest sweaters, making a hot chocolate, going out during the first snow, trying all of these new soup recipes. I'm really just like curating how I want winter to feel, even just changing how my space looks, like lighting a lot of candles or getting out all my cozy blankets, turning on all of my cozy lamps. When I reframed winter as a cozy season instead of this dark, depressing time of year, my brain actually started to get excited for all of the things that I could do throughout the month. Lastly is committing to weekly rituals. I stopped negotiating with myself about what I was going to do every day and every week, and I started planning it on my calendar. And I committed to doing these simple weekly rituals and put them in my calendar as if they were actual appointments. This could look like anything from planning a weekly FaceTime date with your best friend, becoming a local at a coffee shop that you go to once a week, going to Saturday morning yoga, joining a community around something that you love. The key here is knowing that mood is never going to be a good motivator. When it's so cold and dark out, you're probably never going to be in the mood to leave your house. But doing these things is really important for your mental health. And if you just commit to it on your calendar and you pick something that you genuinely love and you know that it's going to make you feel good, it will truly make such a difference. At the end of the day, seasonal depression is so real, and I'm not going to pretend that just like doing these tiny little things is going to completely cure you and you'll never feel sad again. But for me, as someone who has struggled with depression, doing these things has really made a difference in how I feel. And just understanding that some days you're going to have a lot of energy to do these elaborate big things, and some days you might spend 4 hours playing Animal Crossing on your Switch, and both of those things are completely okay. If you can meet yourself where you're at instead of beating yourself up about all of the things that you should do, you will feel so much more peace in your everyday life. If you're new here, my name is Jacey. I post all about simple, cozy hobbies, things that you can do if you have low time and low energy, because I've been there and I really know that the tiny things make a big difference. I post new videos like this every single week, so follow for more, and the next one's coming soon.